So I think we've come to the conclusion that Wednesday was... it was beyond words, is what it was. What I was before Wednesday was really just a fangirl, and I mean, I wanted to be more than that, but I don't think I was, and I kind of like crossed the boundary from fangirl to feeling like I was actually John and Hank Green's friend on Wednesday. Because when you watch people on YouTube, it's kind of a one-way friendship. Like, you know all this stuff about them, but they don't know anything about you. They don't know the person who's watching their video. So, for them to find out stuff about me and, like, ask me questions and stuff about, like, college and school and film and stuff like that was really surreal. It was kind of like my internet life was colliding with my real life. It's ironic because the whole point of Paper Towns and what John Green has been saying at all of these events is that we have to imagine people as being people like us. It's like I finally was able to see the people I know on the internet as people that I knew everywhere else. And that's not just going for John and Hank, that's going for all of the people that I've met in the past couple of months at these gatherings who have suddenly become people and not just ideas. I'm gonna show some of my favorite parts of the evening now. Thanks, Mom, for filming all that stuff while I was kind of ignoring you basking in the sunshine of the graduation of my child. And for those of you who are confused about how everyone else in the Fermata Forest keeps referencing to Wednesday as my child, Kelly came up with the analogy that it was like in the past couple months I was pregnant, and the ideas and the planning was all like formulating and coming together and everything for this event that I planned, and then on Wednesday it was like it had its life, and then at the end I was watching it graduate from high school, and Kelly told Hank that, and Hank was like, wow, most women actually have to go through a pregnancy for that feeling. So that was funny. First, John told us some really funny story about his misconceptions of his family and friends during a younger age.
When I was a little kid, I thought that I was the only human being in the world and that everyone else, including Hank and my parents, were aliens. And I believe this in like a deep and lasting and profound way. And I believe that when I wasn't around, Hank would take off these human costumes. Of course, the aliens had very advanced costuming technology, as you can well imagine. And then Hank and Mom and Dad would be aliens along with everyone else. And that the world had been constructed solely for the purpose of, torturing a human child in various ways and seeing what would happen.
Then he read probably one of my favorite passages of Paper Towns, and I'm really happy that he read that part.
Did you know that pretty much for the entire history of the human species, the average lifespan was less than 30 years? You could count on like 10 years or so of real adulthood, right? There was no planning for retirement, there was no planning for a career, there was no planning, no time for planning. But then the lifespan started getting longer and people started having more and more future, and so they spent more time thinking about it.
That he made a wonderful Twilight reference, which for those of you who hung out with me a couple hours before the show, we had a fun conversation about Twilight that I know that you guys really enjoyed, as did I. It was fun to slightly bash Twilight with cool people.
It's a really dangerous thing to imagine people as more than people, what I would call the Edward Cullenization of romance in America.
And Hank breakdanced for us, which was fantastic. Then he sang this song that I think you guys might know. I explained to Hank how I knew that this really random trivia book was involving him and John.
He talks about his ex-girlfriend, so I was like, oh, John Green!
But then John signed my essay, and he just like thanked me, and he probably, I mean, he paid my mom a very nice compliment that meant a lot to me, because it sounds cliche to say, but it's very cool to be able to meet your role models, if you will. Yes, I'm calling them role models. Your role models, like the people that you emulate, the people that you look up to, and to have those people think that you are cool too, is a really, really nice feeling.
Oh, yay, yay, yay!
I think reading this will probably make me cry. Just reading the first part makes me want to cry a little bit.
Cry on it.
Yeah, it'll be more
It'll authenticate it.
Sorry, is this yours?
Wait, yes, that is mine.
What about this?
I think yours.
Can I re-sign it?
Yeah. Or those other things. This is my librarian.
Oh, you're Emma's mom?
I am.
You've done an awesome job.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, no, thank you.
Thank you.
Emma, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for watching. Honestly, this day was...
Was it worth it? Like, all the work that you
It was
did?
worth it 50 times.
I've always wanted to sign that.
Thank you so much.
Oh no, really, thank you. I mean, you've just done so much. You've done so much for our community, and we're really grateful for it.
Thank you so much.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming.
No, I mean, thanks for making it possible. We have had an absolute blast. It's been amazing.
The Fermata Force also made a human Nerdfighter sign that didn't work out very well, but it was still cool. So that was awesome. And it was really awesome seeing all of you guys. It was awesome seeing the whole Fermata Force together, and seeing all the people I know from the New Canon book chats, and seeing One Day to Be Awesome, and people from Blog TV, and the Monica from the Short Sisters, and it was really cool seeing all of you guys. So I think that we're going to have like a New York tri-state area Nerdfighter gathering in New York City at some point. So in the comments, tell me if you would go to that, if you'd be interested in that. I love Nerdfighteria. So, oh, and Paul, in answer to your question, this is as far as I can go. It's not very far. I have problems with it. Maybe I should just go like that. Nerdfighters.
I mean, you guys also talk identically at identical times, so that's the other thing you
Wow,
said.
that was the hardest one so far.
Thank you. Thanks for being awesome.
Are you awesome?
You're awesome.
Okay, some kid just walked by and I caught a bit of his conversation, and he said, "Man, I was supposed to see how he smelled. I forgot."
Wait, serious?
Yeah, people are weird.
What's the weirdest thing I've heard today?
Six high fives.
John Green telling me that he would call Emerson College if I didn't get in. That was the weirdest
Okay,
thing.
no.
1,